It's Bodega time. Yeah, what's going on, party people? The place to be. I go by the name of the BK Apologist, transmitting all the way live. New York is the city. Brooklyn is the borough. What's good? What's popping? Happy Bodega Day to everybody. We made it through another week. A lot of people can't say that, but we can. We need to praise God for that. And of course, before we continue, as always, I need you guys to like, share, and subscribe. Please share the link to your prospective media outlets. Tell a friend to tell a friend that it's him again. Also, if you like how it goes down in the bodega, please show your support by PayPal, or you could be a monthly supporter on Patreon, where you get an assortment of goodies to enhance your personal Bible study. So let's say what's up to the party people in the chat. We got CMB the ambassador. What's going on, sir? We got Adrian Jones on the check-in. We got Tyler Lott. We got Mimi West. We got Hector Cres. What's going on? Yes. Please share the link, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, I am surrounded by some of the coolest spiritual people you could find on the interwebs. And we have a newbie on the bodega, but he's not a newbie, but he is a newbie when it comes to being on this particular platform today. And of course, I'm talking about the one and only JP Davis, aka Don't At Me Man. What's going on, sir?
What's up, fam? What's up, fam? You already know what it is.
Yes,
Good evening, family.
Good evening. JP is one of the most hilarious people that you could have in your chat. I mean, this dude, his comedic timing is unparalleled. It's good to have you here. Good to have you here. And of course, we have Red Light is in the building. What's up, Red?
Hey.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. And as always, before we could get into the shenanigans, we like to know what's going on in your respective places in the planet when it comes to this pandemic. It's been almost 2 years. There's been some ups and downs. There might be some light at the end of the tunnel, but let's see what happens. So, JP, what's going on with the pandemic by your neck of the woods, sir?
Man, let me tell you something. I'm down here in New Orleans, Louisiana, and we were in the thick of it. So I'm going to tell you this much. I don't look at the numbers. I don't check the reports because I like to keep my blood pressure to a minimum. However, my wife, she works for the state of Louisiana, and she gets privy to a lot of this information, right? And so as long as when I come in, I know I don't have to wear a hazmat suit, I think things are looking good. So I think we're on the up and up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And Red Light, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
You have to ask Colin because Colin cares. I'm at a point. I'm over it.
Cares.
I'm over it. I don't know what's going on in Ohio. I just know I'm tired of these people. And I just want to go. And I know it's not great in Louisiana because I was there. And when I was there, they don't believe in masks, washing your hands, Bourbon Street's the ghetto. So I mean, I'm just going to help JP out because I seem to know more about them than Ohio. It was bad there, terrible. It's just and they just walking around just like, hey, there's no kind of pandemic going on. But they're doing that in Ohio, too. They're like, oh, why do we have to worry about dying? Because we're not dead yet. I don't know what's going on. I'm sick of people. And then they be like, y'all not go. Other countries like, y'all can't come here because your country reckless. And I'm like, but I want to come there. I'm not reckless. I wash my hands. I was washing my hands before the pandemic. I can't say for everybody else, but I was washing my hands before the pandemic. I have hand sanitizer. I got wipes. I got all kinds of stuff. I had so many wipes when I got on the plane. I have more wipes than the plane did. I was ready. That's what I'm saying. There you go. And I'm like, I'm ready to come. What I got to do to leave this country? And they're like, you a citizen in this country too? Nah, they're like, well, you should have chose better then. And I'm like, I guess when it comes visit, let me in for a couple of days, a week, maybe 2, maybe a month, because when I get there, I got to quarantine anyway. Might as well stay the whole month. All I'm saying is I'm trying to leave And some of y'all not helping the cause. Some of y'all out here still not washing your hands. Some of y'all out here acting like hand sanitizer ain't at the dollar store. Some of y'all acting like Clorox wipes ain't in stock again. Some of y'all, and I mean, ain't all of y'all, but I'm saying it's some of y'all, and I need some of y'all to wear masks, get your lives together, so I can leave this country temporarily, because I'm gonna come back, because I do like America for the most part. But I need some of y'all. Y'all know who y'all
Some
are
of y'all.
to get it
Some of
together.
y'all.
That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
Yeah, you're
Some
asking
of
too
y'all.
much. Asking for too much.
Apparently, it's almost 2 years, so apparently, I'm asking too much. There's other countries like, oh yeah, we got like 3 cases. We ain't got that testimony. That's all I'm saying.
You
Well,
can't
over
blame the
here,
ancestors no more.
what's up?
You just can't blame the ancestors no more. No, no, it's on you.
It's not their fault. It's definitely not their fault. So in New York, 88.7% of New Yorkers age 18 and over have at least one dose of the vaccine. And today's positive results is 3.08. Unfortunately, we've had 30 new deaths reported. So we've been hovering around 3% now for the last few months. So it'll go down to 2.48, then it'll come back to 3. So we've been kind of level. That's the level lately. So and as you guys said, let's do our part to wear our masks, wash our hands. There are other medications that might be on the horizon. I've heard talks about pills, that you could take that actually are old. They're not even new formulas. You know what I mean? So they're using it now for the virus, and supposedly they're very effective. So we'll see. Because I would love to see all you guys in person. Sometime next year. That's the dream. To have an actual urban apologetic conference sometime next year. If you guys could get some, to quote CMB, some act right in your life. So with that being said, let's get into it. Trending in the United States, hashtag release the Ayer cut. Calls from fans for Warner Brothers Pictures to release David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad increases after the filmmaker tweeted a photo of Jared Leto's character, the Joker. Says here, Jared killed it, but no one knows. Here's a up-close picture. It's definitely a different take on the Joker, which I appreciate. He's definitely trying to make it his own, as opposed to Heath Ledger, right? So now, my question, and lately it seems to be, if you saw the original cut, you would really like the movie, So, we've seen this happen with the Snyder cut, right, for the Justice League. Now they're doing the Ayer cut, right? So there seems to be this pattern that, we're not seeing the best part of the movies, right? So my question to you guys is, what is one thing about being a Christian that people don't know about, but they really should? Like what's the Christian cut, so to speak, of being a Christian? Like what is one aspect of being a Christian that people don't know, but if they did know, man, they would really like being a Christian. So
Ladies first.
We got you from down south. Y'all on that mess. No, I would just say, like, for instance, JP, he's crazy. And I mean that in a good way. So like he made a video and he was like, why I left the church because of benediction. And I thought that was so hilarious. So I would say one of the perks of being a Christian is just all the different kinds of people that you get to meet that you wouldn't necessarily know without being a Christian. Like I've formed so many different relationships over the years, like even before Facebook, just because I'm a Christian, like Chris Featherstone. We're both Christians. We've been Christians for a long time. And he lives here. So we used to hang out and do stuff together. We had Bible trivia. The funny thing is, like out of everybody, it was always me, him, always getting the questions right. So it's like just getting to meet so many different people from so many backgrounds. Just I think that's probably one of the best things that we don't really talk about a lot is the different fellowship and relationships that you built from being a Christian. So That's probably the Christian cut because I, I think that's probably the best part of it because we are the body and the body can be very hilarious at times.
And speaking of hilarious, you have a visitor right behind
I
you.
know. She today she told me she said I'm gonna be just like you. I said you might not want to do that, baby. That might not be the life you
Yeah,
want to live.
she's smiling. Look at her.
I,
Oh man. Oh man, that's cute.
Sweet.
JP, what is one
Yeah,
thing about being a Christian that people don't know, but if they did know, man, they would really want to be a Christian?
well, let me preface it first.
Oh Lord.
First of all, let me just say, hey, baby, that's my woman. She down there in the chat somewhere. She just gave me a little shout out and everything. Hey, she see. Hopefully, I ain't talking too loud so y'all don't hear no echoes. All right, but yeah, I'll tell you this. The one thing that I see that's really significant about being a Christian is just the same thing that we just saw with Jared Leto. So for years, decades, we've known the Joker to look one way: white paint, purple shirt, green hair, crazy laugh, right? And now you see, now he's coming into his own. And it's the same thing with us, that we know that there's no such thing as a cookie cutter Christian. And if you do see somebody saying we're putting you in that one stamp, one box, you look this way, and if you don't look this way, if you don't vote this way, if you don't sing this song this way, I don't know. Now, that being said, we do have our convictions, right? we do have our belief systems. We do have the things that we have to stand on to be a disciple and to make disciples. But within that, there's no Greek, there's no Jew, there's no specific Scythian or anybody that should say that, hey, you should look like this and do this and that way. If you spin around this way, and yeah, you'll be in the fold. You'll be in the fold. So that's my 2 cents in the bucket.
And that's a very, very high value 2 cents, sir. Thank you.
High
Thank you.
value.
High value. For me, honestly, the one thing I think people don't know, it's actually fun to be a Christian. Because a lot of times when people think about Christianity, they think about thou shalt do this and thou shalt do that. Like they immediately think about all the stuff they can't do. But it's the freedom in Christ that we have that's so amazing. And those things that we can't do is actually freeing, not constricting. Because I became a Christian when I was 19, and man, I missed a lot of craziness because I made Jesus Lord. I didn't have any baby mama drama. I was a virgin until my wedding night. I never got caught in any kind of drinking or drugging. And I'm from the projects, born and raised Gowanus projects. You know what I mean? The hood. So, and I look at the people that's from my age group now. I hate to say it, they look horrendous because they really made those bad life decisions that if they would have had the word of God, chances are they would not. I mean, and some of these guys are younger than me and they look like they're 60. It's bad. And but even with us within the UA, man, it is so much fun. It's amazing how we can get together through the interwebs and actually forge an actual bond, like real family, and we've looked out for one another. We've helped each other during, stressful times, and we laugh like you wouldn't believe. Like behind the scenes, like we hang out and chill. We got our little Zoom meetings or what have you, and we just, it's amazing. It's so much fun. And I think if people understood that you can have fun and not compromise your faith, I think more people would gravitate. It is fun, man. It is so much fun. So, and like CMB is one of the first people I actually met and became friends on the internet, to the point where me and my wife flew to Dayton, to spend some time with him and his wife, which is crazy because I don't know this guy. He could be a bot for all I know. He might not have been real. But but he's taking a chance too, and it was an amazing time. And we've become such close friends. And from CMB to all of you guys, it's like, and that's why I really can't wait for us to get together and just act a fool in Christ together. You know what I mean? So with that being said, oh, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was supposed to be there that weekend, and Panda Express gave me food poisoning.
That's right. You're supposed to hang out with us. Right.
Oh.
Yeah, CMB. Yo, and his wife can cook, man. She made these vegan cupcakes, son. Let me tell you.
They
Let me
were for
tell
my
you,
birthday. She made them
fam,
cupcakes for my birthday. Y'all ate
fam.
my
You
cupcakes and I don't
and,
appreciate it.
and I don't
I have
care, and I'm glad because them
and
joints
I
was
don't
fire.
appreciate the fact y'all ate my
Them
cupcakes.
cupcakes was fire.
I'm
It's like I
glad you
trust
enjoyed
BK
my
so much I even
cupcakes.
tried vegan wings.
That's not wings. You tried vegetables with some sauce.
Hey, it is what it is. But nah, them vegan cupcakes, son, crackatocious. Let me tell you, you did miss out. Yes. So anyway, moving right along. All right. So Superman swaps the American way for a better tomorrow with new motto. And this is the motto. Truth now the new motto, truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Amid the parade of new trailer reveals during the 2021 DC fandom, the comic book company announced a significant change in the iconic Superman motto. The Man of Steel's mission statement, truth, justice, and the American way, which dates back to the early 1940s when the U.S. was involved in World War II, will now be, quote, truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. As DC Comics shifts to a model that will, quote, will better reflect the global storylines that we are telling across DC and to honor the character's incredible legacy of over 80 years of building a better world. DC Chief Creator Officer Publisher Jim Lee said in a statement, Superman has long been a symbol of hope who inspires people from around the world, and it is that optimism that and hope that powers him with this new mission statement. So, my question is this anti-American or is this more in line with the Superman character? What do you guys think?
Well, I'll tell you this: he spent a whole lot of time at the Daily Planet, so sounded real commie to me, real commie. No, you know what? I'll say this. One thing about it, I think that this is definitely pro global, right? Pro world, and it gets us out of that mindset of what's the coin phrase? American exceptionalism, thinking
Mm.
that everything is just if it's not red, white, and blue, it ain't what it do, and that's just like no, that's not even half the story, not even a portion. So to be able to branch out and just see that and see that they actually take that moniker off and make it a global thing, I say, okay, that sounds pretty good to me. I like it. Wakanda forever.
Yeah, that's Marvel. That's okay.
Oh, okay.
Red light.
Good luck.
Red
I was
light.
with you. Um, he's an illegal alien, so I don't blame him. That's
Wow.
all I'm saying. You know how we feel about those illegal
You
aliens.
don't got his paperwork yet? You don't got his paperwork?
All I'm saying is that he came here legally. He just popped up out of nowhere. Nobody invited him. He might be a bad. Luckily, he wasn't a bad hombre. He might have been though. We don't really know. If Lois is in trouble, he might turn into a bad hombre. All I'm saying is that he's an illegal alien, so therefore, I don't blame him.
Actually, there
If
is a storyline called Injustice where that exactly happens.
you're
They
saying
they, they kill Lois and he loses his mind and he becomes a dictator, a global dictator. It's crazy.
exactly. So what I'm saying is that he's illegal. If I was an illegal alien, I would change my motto too. Because you see how this is
That's
working.
terrible.
I'm just saying, if him and Lois had a kid, who knows if it'd be separated from him and Lois? I don't know. I just know that if I was Superman, I would have been changed it to a better anything else because because you don't really need to be here, Superman. And on top of that, like, does he even have like a birth certificate or some citizenship papers? Like, I don't know. I don't know
Well,
if he's
as Clark
even.
Kent, he's actually a actual
Yeah,
human, right? He acts as a human,
he
so he
has.
has human paperwork.
That doesn't
Kal-El
mean he
doesn't
has
have any
human paper.
paperwork.
That don't mean he has paperwork. There's lots of people with falsified documents running around everywhere. I can tell you where to get a birth certificate, and social security card right now, and it ain't really you. All I'm saying is that without me revealing too much, all I'm gonna say is that there's ways around stuff if you really want to know about some things. There's ways around stuff. You don't have to actually have your own stuff. Clark Kent might have died at the age of 3, and voila, he's still living now. It happens every day. I'm not saying I did it. Not saying I know somebody who have. Not saying that I've seen this done. I'm just saying that there are
Right,
things that can
right,
happen. Like Clark Kent died at
right.
3, and now Clark Kent didn't really die at 3. I'm just saying. No, no, no. Don't do me. Don't do me on sinless. What I'm saying is that he's a legal alien. We don't know if this paperwork is valid. And all he knows, they might actually be out here. ICE could be at his door any day. So he's like, just in case they come, I need to know everybody else to know that like there's a better tomorrow with me. If they put me out of here, I can still have somewhere to go because I didn't expanded the brand. And plus another thing, everybody like expand your brand, expand your brand, expand your brand. You don't want to be just an American brand. You want to go other places. You know, he might want to go to countries that don't like us. That's very vast because I can't go to these countries because of COVID. I digress. There's very vast of the places, and he probably like, look, if I if I keep saying the American way, they might not let me in these countries either. I can fly there and I'm gonna get there and I'm flying down. They're gonna be like, no, Superman, you gotta quarantine for 14 days because we know you was in America because your motto is the American way. I don't blame him. He got to expand the
So
brand.
this
He's
was a
an
PR
illegal
move.
alien.
You're saying there's a PR move for
PR
him.
move, and he's an illegal alien. It's really twofold. He got to expand the brand, and he's illegal. His paperwork ain't really his. They gonna find the real Clark Kent and be like, man, you really played this game really well. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
Well,
We don't know what he got going on in the closet.
well. First of all, for you to be a woman of God and still be so closely connected to the underworld, it's a little
I never
concerning.
said I was connected to anybody. I said that there's ways around stuff. You know, these things is just general knowledge for
Right.
people. So
Sure.
what I'm
Sure.
saying, because every time I come here and give y'all general knowledge, y'all be like, oh, how dare she knows about these general knowledge situations? Y'all look, okay? I'm
Right.
just saying, when you
Right.
grow up in the suburbs, you talk about, oh, I grew up in the projects. It's much worse in the suburbs, Alfredo. Let me not hold you. we we got the white collar crimes. The white collar crimes is you get less time, and if you get time, it's fair time, and the fair time is easy to run, and you get somewhere, you in the cabin, other people, you paying people to cook for you because you know you got the money. Because you in fair time, the other money hid. I'm not saying I know people who this happened with. What I'm saying is that Superman is expanding the brand, and Superman don't really got no paper. That's all I'm saying. Before I say too much, and y'all, I'm saying I grew up in the suburbs. Y'all think you like, oh, the projects. No, y'all don't look. I'm telling you, that ain't where it's at. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to.
Well,
I
BK,
plead the fifth.
Miss Red, BK, I'll just be real with you all. I'm from the back roads and light poles of Mississippi, so I don't know nothing about the project or whatever else is going
The
on with
suburb.
city bricks and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'll just put it this way. Let's just be real, y'all. Let's just take this little road, let's take this little turn in the country road. Who is gonna pull over Clark Kent or Superman and ask for license registration?
Clark
In
You'd
Kent
the
be
did.
word,
surprised.
Kyle,
in the
no.
You'd be
well,
surprised. You'd be surprised. People be like, there's a lot of people. You'd be like, oh, who gonna pull over this and who gonna do this? People like,
Batman.
hey, that's what I'm
Batman would.
saying.
That's
That's what
about
I'm
it.
saying. Batman is like, I'm rich and I can do what I want because he in the look. All I'm saying is he in the higher upper echelon. He don't really care for Superman. Batman gonna be like, he gonna be like, Gotham. This man right here is acting crazy. Can you go get him? And guess what Gordon's gonna do? Gordon gonna be like, dang, now I gotta go mess with Superman because I'm on Batman's payroll and I don't want no trouble. That's who gonna mess with Superman. That's exactly who gonna mess with. He gonna pull him over. He gonna be like, what I do? What I do? Then Harvey Dent gonna come out like, now we gotta prosecute Superman. Are you sure we prosecute Superman? And Batman gonna be like, you're prosecuting Clark Kent. You're not prosecuting Superman. And they'll be like, but Clark Kent died at 3. Find the real Superman's name. And then they're gonna find out like, oh man, this dude ain't even a real person because Clark Kent died at 3. All I'm saying is there's so many situations that can go down. I don't
Yo,
blame
she
Superman.
just wrote a whole script for the next Superman versus Batman movie, right just now. That was
you
amazing.
got my you got my throat scratchy right now
That was
with that
amazing.
Bruce Wayne. Touche,
I'm
girl.
just that's what he
She just
do.
did an
That's how he
elevator
do.
pitch for the next Batman versus
I'm just
Superman
For
saying.
real.
movie.
He said, "Who gonna pull over Superman?" I'm telling you, who gonna pull over Superman, because he got the money for it. You do whatever you want to when you got money. You be surprised at the things that goes down when you got money. I ain't saying it's me. I'm just saying.
I didn't even shout a narrator apologetic book in a Batman
Just
voice.
saying.
The
I
hypostatic
know.
Yes,
union is
yes.
when Jesus is.
I'm just saying. You be surprised what happened. You're like nobody gonna pull over Superman.
Here's a
I know
list
a
of
couple.
logical fallacies.
I'm just saying, I know a couple folks who will pull over Superman. on the strength alone of the clout you gonna get for pulling over Superman. Just throw that out there. Superman
Well,
ain't invincible as he think he is.
well, one thing that you said that I think was really interesting is expanding the brand, right? And as Christians, as kingdom citizens, it is our job to expand the brand as well. It's to extend sacred space throughout this world, reclaiming the world back for Jesus. You know, we're reversing what happened at the Tower of Babel. You know, it's because of people's rebellion that they were scattered in different tongues. And now in these different languages and customs, we go reach out and bring them back, right? And the reason why I say we do that is because in John 3:16, everybody knows this. You see it in every football game. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Right? He loved the world, the actual world, not how some of these Hebrews try to redefine the word, world. It's the world. It's the cosmos. In fact, I think that's the Korean Greek, right? It's cosmos for world.
Cosmon.
Cosmos.
Cosmon. Mm-hmm.
It's everything. God loved everything, right? So because of that, he's commissioned us to bring people back, to expand the brand, right? So with that being said, Squid Game's hidden slam of Christianity uncovered. Dun, dun, dun. Now, if you think you've noticed Squid Game's criticism of the Christian religion, think again. Yes, there are overt slams you can't miss, but a second symbolic layer hides beneath. So let's take a look at the top level. 4 Christian characters appear in the miniseries. Player 244, a pastor whose habit of praying out loud helps no one, least of all himself, and even endangers his teammates by squandering their precious time. A nun in the orphanage where Sabyok's little brother, Seo, is cared for physically but denied a true family. Jae Young's father, who doesn't actually appear in the show but is discussed, who abused her, then murdered her mother while praying. A street preacher who sees Sing Ching Hun thrown out of a car into the street and removes his blindfold, but otherwise does nothing to help him. Overall, it's a feckless bunch at best, downright evil at worst. Even those who make an effort to help their fellows still miss the mark, failing to provide what's truly needed. But the scenes with these characters only take pot shots at Christians, at people. Below the surface, Squid Game wrestles with the religion itself and its core dogma. Or more accurately, Christianity confronts Korea's most popular religion, Buddhism, and is found wanting. So, Red Light, since you are well read in this particular series, what do you think of what this article is saying here?
I mean, a lot of people claim to be Christians and they are not Christian. I can name 5 people right now who said they Christians and they not Christians. I ain't gonna put people, in the streets like that. I should, but I ain't. But a lot of people, say that they're Christians. So here's my thing. If you are judging a religion based on its adherence and not what it actually teaches, you're already in the wrong. So if you are like, oh, look at these Christians praying and nothing is happening, for one, if we are Christians, we should be good stewards of not just, random stuff. We should be good stewards of our money as well. And because in Squid Games, you had to be like in debt. That's how they got people to agree, because these people were like in serious debt. So if you are not a good steward over your money, I don't care if you're a pastor or whoever, you have already kind of like put yourself in a position to where it's going to be difficult for you anyway. So if this dude, people pray all the time and they not saved. They don't know the Lord. They just like, I'm going to take a stab in the dark and pray anyway. It don't make you a Christian. Again, a lot of people who say they're pastors, they're not really Christians either. Because there's some pastors like, now I'm a Hebrew Israelite, because you was never a Christian. How you gonna read the Bible? They got Kevin Wesley out here like, I'm an ex-pastor. Came out, he was never a pastor. I digress. He was never a pastor at all. But he was out here talking about, I was a pastor, and now look at me, and I'm trying to get a church now, and I just need all y'all to give me donations. And so he out here saying he was a Christian. Look, none of them people was Christians. And I'm very confused about the shenanigans. And then you like, oh, it confronts Buddhism and found this wanting. Have they read Buddha's teaching? Because if you have, you'd be like, fam, all roads lead back to some kind of enlightenment, and that doesn't make any sense that you can achieve. But Jesus, the roads lead back to him. All roads lead back to Jesus. Buddha's like, maybe, sort of, kind of. I was looking for something, and I might have found it, but I don't know if I really got this enlightenment. But hey, maybe you can get it too, but I don't know if anybody gonna get it, because I'm not sure if I had it. Jesus, like, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. There's nobody comes to the Father except for me. We have the only religion that has a God that is caring, concerning, that actually walked this earth and knew what he was talking about. Buddha is not that person. Buddha was just sitting there chilling under the tree, telling people stuff, and he's like, "Look, look, yeah, y'all follow me. I don't even know what I'm doing. So y'all can keep following me if y'all want to, but I don't even really know what I'm doing." And it's like you compare the religions of what they actually teach and what they actually believe. Christianity is not going to be found wanting at all. But it's like y'all want to believe, just like in Real Reviews, we talked about the exorcism and the exorcist. And it's like these people make it seem like there's no power as a Christian. These demons are just beating them up. Well, the problem is that they're like the seven sons of Sceva. They don't have any power. Their religion is wanting. They have their faith is low. That's not a good determination of what Christianity is. What does Christianity teach? What did Jesus teach? What do Christians actually believe? That's what you need to be comparing, and not what you think Christianity is. I get to be amazed at people who have so much to say about Christianity and know nothing about it. Like, I went to church when I was 5. Great. What did you learn? Oh, look at the pastor. Oh, the pastor doing that's another. That's fine. What did you learn? Did you study to show yourself approved? Do you know anything about the Bible? Can you tell me the context of the scripture? Do you know the cultural background? Do you know what Paul was talking about? When all they was running around talking about KDLC, that's not really a language. That's not language at all. That's not what they were saying. So Paul said, "I speak more tongues than all of you." It's because he spoke multiple languages. But if you don't know these things, you don't know what was going on in church anyway. So you just running around like, oh, I guess I heard what my mom was in church her whole life, and she took me with her, and now I'm mad. It's your problem. You didn't stay to show yourself approved. I'm just tired of people trying to renounce and denounce and disrespect Christianity, and they know nothing about it. You ask them a basic question, and they have no answers. So you don't know Christianity, and you run around acting like, I could take any religion and take its worst adherents and be like, oh, look at this person. They murdered 17,000 people, and here they are. This is the religion. That may not be true. If you want to be fair to a religion, you take its best adherents and you compare it to what the religion teach, not the worst people in it, and they try to make it seem like, oh, this is what it is. These people are stupid.
Tell us how you really feel, man. Don't be so shy, Red Light. It, JP, what's going on, man? What's your take on this?
First of all, I gotta get my voice character game right. I can't keep up with Miss Red tonight because I'm trying to figure out who all these characters are. All right, so I have just a couple thoughts on that. So one thing that really just popped off was when I looked at each one of those characters that they had in there, it started to look like one of the parables that Jesus will talk about. So where you look at the one parable where he talked about the two different type of prayers. The one is just beating his chest and, Lord, I'm glad I'm not like this tax collector, but I'm glad you got me up here doing this right. All right. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. And then the other one, the pastor that saw somebody, I forget what the case was he thrown out of a stable or something like that? Something happened to the guy, right? He ain't really in a good spot, and the pastor kept on walking. So we already know that's more of that Good Samaritan story. So just kind of looking at some of those parallels that you draw on there, and it kind of let me know that, well, we already know this, but our faith is a fishbowl. We have fishbowl faith. And so people are watching what you do. They're watching where you go, the type of speech that you have. And so even in these freedoms that we know that we do have, that's why it's definitely it's incumbent upon us, right, to make sure that we're carrying ourselves in a way that we know that we're not going to hold our brother and sister up, but also that we're wearing this faith with our chest and we know that we can represent it in the right way. The other thing, what was I thinking about? Oh, yeah, dealing with the problem of evil. It just looks like, hey, when they see any issue that I've run into, whether it's family members or people out there in these streets, yes, I said streets, okay. But anyway, so what you run out into it, one of the objections you always run into, well, if God is all powerful, then why did my dog get hit? Well, you got hit because traffic was out there. So, but that's neither here nor there. So when we're thinking about that, it's just something else for us to think about when it comes to having some good, I say good firepower, but really having some palatable answers, but not just trying to hide the truth and saying, hey, this is the reality that we have. And actually, Christianity is the best explanation for what's wrong with the world, and it actually has the best answer for how to get the world right, or what's going to be right about it, and how you can work on to getting right in that. And we're talking about sanctification this part because we already know the finished work is already done, right? All right, last piece, y'all. We got to get some people right, because what this starts to draw when you start thinking about people who live like this and who are already wrestling with the problem of evil, and then they're seeing Christians praying and they don't see anything happening. They're looking for this microwave Messiah. So I sent out a video earlier today that talking to little kids, just talking about, you ready for your miracles? You ready for this? And hey, you can get your Ferrari, you can get this and all of this, and it's all soaked around what I want, what I can get right now. And it's kind of built like that. It ain't kind of what Paul said. It ain't kind of what Jude was telling us to do. And Peter was saying some things too, and they went through it. So, but that's where I can sit with it right there. So really, we have to understand that our faith with the fishbowl thing, we have to work this thing out with some fear and trembling.
Absolutely. It's people have a hard time being able to separate the teachings of Jesus from the people who claim to follow the teachings of Jesus. Because that's what ends up happening, is that they see someone who says that they're Christian, they do something that's not Christ-like, and people make this correlation with, well, since they did this, therefore Christianity must be like that as well, right? And a lot of times on the internet, I'm in these debate groups, and Michelle will be in there too. And they'll say something, oh, the Christian enslaved us, the Christian abused. And my response is always, well, when you say Christian, what do you mean? Well, let's define the actual word, because the word itself, right? And they're like, oh, it means oppressor. I'm like, no. The actual word, like, it has a suffix, that IAN, that means state of being. Every time you see that suffix, it means state of being. Christ is basically the Roman anglicized version of Messiah, which is Mashiach, right? The anointed one. So a Christian is someone who's in a state of being like the anointed one. So once I break down that definition, then I say, okay, now let's insert that into your claim. Can someone who is in a state of being like the anointed one be a rapist or be a slave owner? And they're like, well, no. Right. This person who says they're Christian, obviously they're not in a state of being like Messiah if they're actively doing these things. And again, right, our worldview is the one that best purports with reality. And Mr. J. Warner Wallace puts it this way. He says, the Christian worldview holds up to scrutiny. Christianity is not simply a set of proverbial propositions. It is a claim about history, because Christianity is rooted in a historical event, the life, ministry, death, and resurrection of Jesus. It can be verified and falsified. The evidence supporting Christianity is robust and significant. The Gospels can be tested using the same template we use for eyewitness testimony in criminal trials. I demonstrated this in Cold Case Christianity. The historical accounts in the New Testament are reliable. Christians don't need to be embarrassed of their worldview. Christianity, when properly examined, holds up to critical scrutiny. The reason why we are Christians, outside of us having the love for Christ and Christ loving us, it's that it's true. We decided to make Jesus Lord because it's true. It's actual facts. It deals with reality best than any other worldview. And when you test the Christian worldview with these others, the other worldviews are found wanting. All right, so you guys want to say anything before we continue?
Shonda and the Hyundai.
Sounds good to me. All right, so let's do this now. All right, last but not least, a baseless satanic conspiracy theory is spreading around the tragedy at the Travis Scott concert. This is from Relevant magazine. Over the weekend, tragedy struck at the Astroworld Festival in Texas when at least 8 people died and dozens more were injured when a crowd rushed the stage during a performance by Travis Scott. Footage taken during the event revealed the chaos that took place during a surge towards the front of the stage. We live in a conspiratorial times, and as news began to trickle out about the sad events that took place, amateur internet sleuths began speculating that Scott had deliberately plotted the deadly stampede as part of a satanic blood sacrifice. It's a baseless conspiracy theory, but it's one that's picked up a considerable amount of steam on certain corners of social media. As proof, social media users pointed to some macabre elements of Scott's stage show and promotional materials, including some diabolic imagery inspired by Hieronymus Bosch, quote, Christ in Limbo painting. The festival's tagline, quote, see you on the other side, was certainly taken as a horribly dark irony in the tragedy's wake. Others have alleged that Scott continued to perform even as fans started to pass out and call for help. However, as Newsweek points out, the live stream of the show had several instances of Scott stopping the concert to call on people to help fans who passed out in the crowd. It's not clear that Scott was aware of or able to see the full extent of the physical pressure the crowd was exerting. At one point, he paused in apparent confusion, but he didn't appear deliberately to ignore everyone who was struggling. Entertainers from Ozzy Osbourne to Alice Cooper to Lady Gaga have used occult imagery as part of their acts over the years. It's so commonplace, it's almost mainstream. Singling Scott's use of it as a sign of genuine satanic belief is grasping for some sort of meaning in the tragedy, a villain to blame. But there isn't necessarily going to be any one person to blame here. Concerts could turn deadly with or without demon-inspired props. In 2010, a similar stampede at a techno dance festival called the Love Parade left 21 dead. In 2000, 9 people were trampled to death at a Pearl Jam concert in Denmark, and 11 people were killed during the stampede while The Who played in Cincinnati, 1979. So, my panel, what is your take on this tragic event at this concert?
Yeah. So just to bring the humanity into it, the tragic part first is that you had a number of lives that were just lost from the get-go. Nobody purchasing that ticket or gifting somebody that ticket had no idea that was going to happen to them on that day. With that being said, one quote that I've heard before tends to err on the side of playing silly games and winning silly prizes. It's kind of hard to see something like this not happening. And just to be straight up with you. So when I think about these things, it was just really not even mind bending from that point, and not trying to be heartless from it. But if you look at a lot of the imagery and just a lot of the marketing that went into it, when we think about stuff that is dark, when you think about things that are satanic, you think about deathly things. This is just what it is. And the part that really concerns me now is that since this has happened, somebody in the music industry is going to want to one-up it. So yes, it was good for Ozzy Osbourne to eat doves and crows, and that was shock value then, but now this is on a whole nother scale. So somebody's in their basement now thinking about, well, what can I do to get the panic and things and not be culpable for it? So.
Interesting. Red light.
So I too would like to, extend my condolences if they ever watch it to the families of those who lost somebody, because that's not an easy thing to deal with. With that being said, I am very, I believe in the supernatural. I believe in all the things that come with the supernatural. I don't think everything that happens that we don't like is the supernatural. I think some things are just bad choices that we make. And Travis Scott is known to promote mosh pits in his concert. He's known to promote, flooding the stage and stuff like that. When you promote things like that, these are some of the consequences of promoting these kinds of behavior. we're still in the pandemic for one. So while those people was out, especially in Texas, y'all know Texas ain't got no sense. Um, but we're in a pandemic, and people are already putting themselves at risk during a pandemic by even going to a concert with that many people. But you know that Travis Scott is known because this isn't his first concert in Texas like this. He's done this in his other concerts in Texas like this.
Right.
He has a pattern of behavior for these things happening. This time people just happen because we everybody's been at home. Well, not really in Texas. They just been out wilding. But for a lot of these people though, some people have been taking it serious in Texas,
Hmm.
and so you finally get out, and now everybody is like rushing you getting to see Travis Scott because I think he canceled it last year because of it. And so because he's done again frequently. This is not his first one. I think this is like his major thing that he does every year in Texas. This is something that these people look forward to. They were out there acting a fool and wilding. And again, I don't think he was trying to sacrifice anybody. I don't think he was trying to summon the demon. I don't think he was doing any of those things. I just think when you unfortunately promote bad behavior, like they say, sin to have you going farther than you want to and doing more than you want to do. And when you promote things like that, you can't control the outcome. You know, if you have unprotected sex with somebody, you might not want a kid with them. Guess what? You might have one. So it's like there's consequences for our actions. And even when you living on the wild side and living dangerously, that's what it is. So Asha, she had made a post, and I asked her to put in the bodega because I thought it was a very good take on it, because I have been seeing a lot of the satanic stuff, and I'm just like, wow, like I don't really, I didn't really have a. I didn't think it was like I didn't wasn't leaning towards the satanic, but it just was so sad. That's what we look for, especially as Christians sometimes, because it gives us like, oh my gosh, look at this. This is the the red hot underbelly of the underworld is having its time. But I like her take on it. She's like, hey, I've been to concerts, and this is how things happen. I've, have friends, and we lost each other. It was hot, it was crazy. People was pushing up against each other, and they said that they would do it again. Like their lives was in danger, and they're like, let's do this anyway. I would still do this anyway. So I think when again, you want to see somebody you like, these sometimes are the consequences. This is not like a Lecrae concert. This isn't a KB concert. It's not a Tadashi concert. It's nothing like that because they don't promote those kinds of things. Um, and if they did, they would still have the same kind of outcome if they promoted mosh pits and rushing the stage. They could have the same kind of outcomes as well. So it's just like we have to be realistic
Hmm.
about stuff as well. So I guess it's a very sad event. I just don't think the satanic lore is there. And I enjoy people's conspiracy theories because lets me know who's crazy. And not all conspiracy theories are false, and not all conspiracy theories are bad. But I think when we always want to make everything satanic, I think that may be a problem.
Hmm. Good point. Good point. I feel like, to your point, it doesn't necessarily have to be a satanic ritual. Even if Travis Scott is a bona fide practitioner of the dark arts, doesn't mean he was practicing that night, right? That doesn't even mean that. But if you put that type of energy out there, he can't be surprised if people start looking at him in that fashion, because that's what you've been presenting yourself since you've been an artist. You've always been this dark and edgy figure. So yeah, so people are making connections, even if it's not based on tangible evidence, but because of the stuff you've put out, that's where people's minds going to go, right? So he can be shocked at the conspiracy theorists because it's grounded in something. It really is. Is it evidence? No, but because of how you behave, people just naturally believe that it could be the case. Going back to my previous point, if you say you're a Christian but you behave a certain way, people assume that's what Christianity is, right? And but yeah, I mean, it's these festivals are almost near impossible to manage. These open air festivals, there's just no way. I mean, you could have a sizable security force, but that eats up your budget, and now you're not making any profit, right? And this happens in all sorts of festivals. right? It's not just Travis Scott. I read recently I think it was in the 70s, the Rolling Stones had an issue in a concert because they actually hired a motorcycle gang to do security, and these dudes, in order to stop the crowd, started stabbing the crowd. But I don't see no one saying, "Hey, they're satanic." You know, you had these a bicycle gang, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's a hard thing to say because it's not. Well, it's not hard because there is no evidence of it being that. But again, because of who you are and who you represent, people make that correlation with you. And for believers, we have to be careful about that. You create a reputation for yourself based on how you move in these streets, you know? And that's why a lot of people either don't want to be Christians or have left the church because they've seen people who claim to be one thing, but because of how they represent themselves, well, Christianity can't be true because this person hurt me in church or that person, you know, and they make this correlation, even though it's not, there is no evidence of that. Right. So it's something that we got to be mindful of as believers. So yeah. So anything else you guys want to say about this particular subject?
But let's just be real, y'all. Let's just be perfectly real.
Let's be real. Let's be real.
If Chappelle comes out and has a marketing thing, say, "Hey, come see my show," and then you go to the show and you hear a bunch of laughs, and then a review the next week say, "Hey, people laughed during the show," you gonna think it was funny. So if this man got Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings plastered all over his marketing and all kind of little twirly things and fires and all this kind of stuff and stuff like this happens, yeah, I'm gonna say it's satanic. It is. His show ain't of Christ, and if it ain't of him, who is it of? You ain't got too many other choices after that. I'm just saying.
And one more thing. Don't dabble in that stuff to begin with.
Come on.
Don't play with it. Don't even play with it. It's a great marketing ploy. Man, forget all that. I don't do any of that. I was actually talking to Pastor Troy about that. It's like, man, I don't do no Ouija boards. I don't look at no horoscopes. I don't play with none of that. Because look, I'm Puerto Rican. That stuff is real. I'm sorry. That Santeria and Yoruba, all that's real, fam. So, some of them are fake and they're con artists and they scam you out your money. Some of these dudes are on some Doctor Strange level, though. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't play with that, bro. Like, nah, that's real. I stay clear from that, fam. For real.
Say, BK, for real. And if you find somebody trying to sell you a Chick-fil-A sandwich on Sunday, you need to run because that ain't of God. That's just it. All right, don't start.
Chick-fil-A ain't good to begin with. Chick-fil-A ain't good to begin with. So I mean, they sell it to you on Monday, you should run.
I mean, JP, I don't gotta tell you, you're from Orleans. You know what I mean? You're the voodoo capital of the country. You know what it is.
No day. I had no idea that it was such an event. Should have. I don't know. It was Halloween is the Super Bowl of witchcraftery around here.
Right.
It was big. Traffic was out like there was some type of concert going on all week long, and so yep. There's a lot of that foolery in these streets.
Yes, sir. So before we wrap things up, we always like to know what our panelists have in store in the immediate future, and we're gonna start with JP Davis, aka Don't At Me Ming. What can we expect? Do you have a channel, bro? Is there any way people can reach out to you? Twitter?
You know what? As of now, I'll have to find it. I do have a Twitter out there, and I share all my stuff, but I forget the name and the handle of it because I'm really just not in these internets like that. Other than where you can find me is attempting to make some bad dad jokes and trying not to get kicked out the bodega on a daily by this one down here, down over there. Right there. Cool.
Should be like you got 7 days.
I had to go ahead and get an extension, man. Had to get an extension.
Get your affairs in order.
Yeah, cause I thought she was talking about me talking about the illegal aliens. So I was like, oh wow, yep. I ain't got my papers, man. But yeah, man, you can find me out here on Facebook. On IG, Paul 101 is PAWL 101, but most of my action I do on Facebook, and there'll be some things that'll be tweaking up here in the coming months, though. So I'll definitely keep you posted on that.
And we definitely don't want you to be a stranger at the Bodega either on Friday. So you have an open invitation, sir. You know
Absolutely, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And red lights 1 2 3 1 2 3. What can we expect from you?
For Huevo, I wore fringes. I thought I'd
Oh
wear some
Lord,
fringes.
those are
So
not fringes.
they are. They
They're not
are. That's
fringes.
right. That's right.
Where's the blue cord? Where's the blue thread? You're not
Your
following.
fringe
You
can be
see, you're not
whatever
following the
color.
laws and
You be
statutes and
whatever color. You
commandments.
can be whatever color you want to. Be whatever color
You're
you want
not
to.
following the laws and
These
statutes.
these
You went off,
these is
Ak.
my these
You
are
went
my
off,
fringes.
Ak.
These are my fringes. These are
See,
my
that's why.
fringes.
That's why we don't let women teach. You see, because
Hey, hey, you already know how I feel about being put out. Put me out. Put me out. I'm okay with that. I don't want to teach nobody nothing. No way. Let me not hold you. Um,
oh man,
and again, for my sister,
yes,
fringes.
fringes, fringes.
So you can find me at Real Reviews on here on YouTube because my contract is still in play. So you can find me there on Mondays at 8 p.m. We'll be doing 12 Angry Men on this week. So you can come over there. Alfredo will be on there. We have one we was talking about the Prince of Egypt, and Alfredo had his Juanita Bottom prayer shawl on.
I
Um
did, I did, I did.
and he was ready. I was let me how y'all should know already. I was Pharaoh. I had the iron rod on and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I was
She
just
killed it.
like
She killed it. She killed it.
I was just like a certain YouTube sensation.
Ah.
I had my ponytail coming
You
down.
had your Heru lock.
I did. I was ready, y'all. I was ready. But Alfredo had his Juanita Bynum prayer
No,
shawl on.
Michelle, she shows up and show outs for it. Like she'll put like different dresses and costumes. Like she really goes in, man.
I do. I
Like
love it.
she's worth the price of admission alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
but Nate's the pretty one, so come for him.
Nate is
Um,
he's the eye candy. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
and then we have two ambiguous guys on there too. So there you come for them too as well. Um, you don't know. People be like Alfredo Black, and I'll be like, he's not, but he's not though. So he really ain't even black. And then some people be like, I don't think he's black, but I don't know what he is. Some party thought he was Italian. I was like, y'all way off. And nobody knows what Jordan is either. So we got two
Jordan's
ambiguous
like the
guys
Rock.
on there. Yeah,
Depending on how the light hits him, he could.
yeah. You never know. So we got two ambiguous dudes on there. Then we got, the prettiness of Nate. And then, I mean, I just like cosplay. So if you just like any of those things, ambiguous people, you trying to figure out what they are, the TA of the UA, and the crazy lady, we are the people for you. Come on Mondays. We do have a really good time. We watch movies and contextualize. We basically contextualize the gospel through film. That's really, but I'm under contract. So until I get my contract, you'll find me on there. And I ain't got nothing else going on. I'm trying to get put out. And no matter what I do. And then I threatened to put people out, and they like, I don't want to get put out. I was gonna put Alfredo out his own group because he was in shenanigans. But I was like, you know what? I can't put this mouse group. I can, but I'm not gonna play him out the group. JP only got a couple more times. Because he
That's
gonna
why
get put out.
I'm trying to be a good guy tonight. That's what it is.
Yeah,
There.
yeah. All
So,
I'm saying is that, yeah, because I was like, "Hey, you coming?" And
Let
because
me find out you came out of fear, bro. You came like, you know what? I better show up because if I don't.
You should have seen the message. You should have seen the message. It said,
I'm not saying it was forced.
In the Bruce Wayne voice, you had 5 minutes.
I did not say it like that. I'm not saying it was by force. It was by choice. Is what had happened.
You was voluntold. You was voluntold. It's okay.
No. He volunteered. He volunteered. I didn't tell nobody to do nothing. All I'm saying is that, and if you like to just gaze at beautiful women who talking about gospel stuff, you check out the Bodega ladies. And then I'll be there too, acting a fool. But the other ones are just pretty. And they be like, look how smart and demure I am. And I'll be like, run it, fool, run it, player. But they're like, let's talk about the gospel and let's be good Christian women. I'm like, this what you want, because this is what you're gonna get, fam. So it's like the four, good women than me. So if you like to see that kind of shenanigans too, you check out the Bodega ladies. I ain't doing nothing. I'm retired until my contract is over with Real Reviews. And I'll pop up at the Bodega sometimes because the same way I did JP is the same way Alfredo do us. That's all I'm saying. Alfredo is the Jesuit overlord.
Wow.
Throwing that out
promoted,
there.
Y'all. That's great. You heard it here first.
Jesuit overlord.
My cloak is coming from Amazon Prime. It's going to be great.
I'm just do it. Is all I'm saying. Alfredo know what it is. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got.
All those non-believers out there, that's how discipleship works. We make you.
No. See, that's how we get in trouble. People will take a clip of that and be like, see these Christians?
We make disciples. Eh?
Whether you like it or not.
Excellent.
Well, for me, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be with my good friend CMB and Thunder Lauriston, where we'll be discussing Edward Codal of the Aventus Defense League. There's CMB is funny. I know it. Oh hell, Emperor Fredo. Do it. Anyway, there's a backstory behind this, which I won't get into because you need to come tomorrow and we'll give you the backstory. You know, we're usually not this laser focused on an individual like this, but there's a reason why. And you know, when I get together with CMB and Thunder, you know, we're definitely talking about the SDA, and he's the face of the Aventus Defense League. And you know, we'll be discussing a certain thread that we came across on Facebook, and we will be addressing this thread accordingly with great vigor and conviction. So you want to be here tomorrow, Saturday, right? 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be deep. It's going to be fun, but you know, we're gonna stand firm on the gospel heavy tomorrow. All right. So that being said, yes,
All
ma'am.
y'all are Jesuits. I just want the audience to know.
All of us, me,
You,
CMB.
CMB, and congratulations to Thunder. He just recently graduated. Congratulations to Matthew Jackson.
Congrats.
They both have recently graduated. They both bring violence everywhere they go. EJ brings his violence in with his Jamaican accent. Matthew brings his violence with his Southern accent. Just know, no matter the accent, there's violence when you see those two names. Just be
There
prepared.
will be blood.
It will be. Matthew brings violence with big words. EJ brings violence with hooping in exegesis. But you're gonna get the violence regardless. He just be you ready. But I am very proud of both of them in graduating recently.
Yes. So, last words before we wrap things up. JP.
Last words. I'm checking out the chat, and yes, I am an Ole Miss fan and alum. And man, hey, it's been a pleasure hanging with you guys and gals and holding it down. So I look forward to doing many more.
Yes.
We'll see how this
Absolutely,
rock.
bro. Yes, sir. And Red Light. Last words.
I'm for the streets.
That was my fault. I should have just wrapped it up right there. I should never gave it to her. Right?
You know how I am. I just have to warn you. You know, you the Jesuit overlord. You should already know.
That was my fault. So with that being said, Red Light, JP Davis, and BK, we're signing off. Catch you guys tomorrow, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going down. Peace.